Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. As part of the bullet short revision series, what I'm getting for you now is a list of compiled important questions which have come in previous year question papers or in the ICSE specimen papers. Why I think it is necessary for you to look at these is because it will give you a sense of what way your question paper could be framed. Now, there are a few things which will probably explain more when I'm doing the second installment, which will be a list of 100 questions which have been curated by me. Okay, 10 questions from each of the 9 chapters and 10 questions from map marking. And that is going to be significant. So that's a video you should definitely not miss. So let's look at what the previous year question papers and the specimen papers had to ask your seniors and super seniors. Which of the following area receives rain from the northeast monsoon? Now, in the climate chapter, it is very important for you to understand the different winds, which wind brings rainfall to what. So इसका बेस्ट तरीका है कि आप एक टैबुलर फॉर्म में, in a tabular form, write what brings rain to what. See, geography is a lot about retention. I will not call it rote learning. Retention using common sense, using some kind of familiar code words which will make it easy for you to remember and recall in the examination. So which of the following area receives rain from the northeast monsoon? Is it the Konkan coast? Is it the Ganga basin? Is it the Coromandel coast, that is the Tamil Nadu coast? Or is it the Malabar coast, which is the Kerala coast? So all these kind of synonyms you should be familiar with. So I'm going to tell you while I'm doing this is going to be a revision also. I'll keep explaining many of these aspects. So the correct answer to this is Coromandel coast happens from October, November, December, mainly November and December. In June, Bhopal is warmer than Kolkata. Now, what I have done, if you see here, some of the reasoning questions have also been asked in the MCQs. And this year you will find that, see, competency based, when you look at a subject like history, civics, you can ask a lot of competency based questions in civics because they will test your understanding. How do you do that in a geography? The only way to do that in geography is to ask a large number of reasoning questions. So my advice to you is focus on all the reasoning questions from all the 9 chapters, because these can be asked in reasoning as in the subjective questions as a 2-mark question. It can be asked as an MCQ also. So that is my big tip to you. Please focus on that. So why is it that Bhopal is warmer than Kolkata, right? Look at this one. So D, you always in MCQs, please use the elimination method because there will always be distractors. So कौन से 3 जवाब गलत हैं उनको पहले identify कीजिए, even if it takes an extra 7 to 8 seconds. Do that, because if you just go for the straight one, it is quite possible that there may be another one which may be more appropriate for that particular question. So in June, Bhopal is warmer than Kolkata because Bhopal has a more continental location. It is a landlocked city, unlike Kolkata, which is closer to the Bay of Bengal. So Bhopal is located in the interior of the Indian subcontinent, the capital of Madhya Pradesh, far from the moderating influence of the sea, which Kolkata will have because it is closer to the Bay of Bengal. I have said this right from the beginning, and for so many years, understand the India map. Know which city is where, extremely important. Which of the following factors is responsible for the rise in the temperature of mainland of India in the month of March? So, always look for what are the conditions that have been spoken about, especially when it comes to the climate chapter. Southward migration of the sun from the equator, northward migration of the sun from the equator, the pressure belt shifts, or the land breeze blows towards the sea, the northward migration of the sun from the equator. These are all PYQs or questions from the specimen papers. So do not say ये syllabus से बाहर है, ये हमको पढ़ाया नहीं है. ये सभी आपके PYQs में से है in the last 3 to 4 years, or what has been given in the specimen papers. There is heavy rainfall in the western coastal plains because Is it because of the presence of Aravalli mountain range in western India? The eastern coastal plains have no intercepting barrier. Deccan Plateau to niche aata hai, so obviously it would not be the thing. The presence of the Western Ghats. So the answer to D, fourth is D. What causes snowfall in Kashmir during winter months, right? What is the reason? November, December, Jan, and to an extent in February, you get snowfall in Kashmir. Tropical, places like Gulmarg, Pahalgam, Srinagar are excellent to go during the winter months. Tropical cyclone, northeast monsoon wind, southwest monsoon wind, or is it the temperate cyclone? The correct answer is the temperate cyclone. Now, let me give you an explanation for this. These cyclones, because the same thing can come as a reasoning question also. So, jo bhi padhoge, which is why I find it very risky when they say, hum 4 chapter chhod denge. 4 chapter chhod doge, to aapke 4 marks aapke risk mein rahenge as far as MCQs are concerned, because at least one question will come from each chapter. So, my suggestion to you is, in your best interest, if your aim is an 80 on 80, if your aim is a 60 on 80, no problem. But if your aim is an 80 on 80, even the remaining 4 chapters, look at it from a reasoning point of view. Why? Answer the why and the how. Why and the how. Agar why and the how ko tum answer kar loge, reasoning questions mein you will not face any problem. So these cyclones are also known as western disturbances. They originate in the Mediterranean Sea, right? And move eastward, bringing moisture-laden winds that cause precipitation, including snowfall in North India, particularly in Jammu and Kashmir, even parts of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Which state in India is the first to experience the onset of the monsoons and the last to see it retreat? Andaman and Nicobar, Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. Now here there is a catch. Let me point it out. Here the operative word is state. Kerala is a state, so Kerala becomes the right answer. However, there are parts of Andaman and Nicobar Islands which sometimes get rainfall even before Kerala does. So ये word को जरा ध्यान से देखना कि कौन सा state पूछा है, तो Kerala ही होगा. Okay, so that's what, there can be these kind of small, एक word में there can be a lot of significance. So that's something which you need to bear in mind. Why has Thar developed into, there is a beautiful book, Where the Rain is Born. I think written by Anita Nair, if I'm not mistaken. I have that book. Blue color cover. It's about Kerala and beautiful stories about Kerala and the rainfall, the monsoon. Why has Thar Desert in Rajasthan developed into a desert? Because it has no cloud cover. Is that the reason? Or is it because it is near the sea? B is completely ruled out. It is on the windward side of Western Ghats. Now, the Western Ghats are very far off from the Thar Desert. So C is also ruled out. Aravalli is parallel to the southwest monsoon wind. So the correct answer is D. Since the mountains do not obstruct, the mountains are like this. So when the winds blow, they are not obstructing. Only when they obstruct, you will have rainfall, right? So they are parallel. Since the mountains do not obstruct the winds, no orographic rainfall occurs, leading to arid conditions. Arid as in dry conditions. Which of the following helps in soil conservation? That is, in order to ensure that the quality and to an extent the quantity of the soil is retained, there is no soil erosion. Is it afforestation? That is, you increase the forest cover. क्यों ऐसा जाता है मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है. Okay, I will start this after this restarts. Okay, we are back. Which of the following helps in soil conservation? Afforestation, that is to increase the forest cover. Overgrazing by cattle will lead to kind of depletion of the entire grass cover. So as a result of which, the soil will become loose. Use common sense. Think, understand each and every term. That will really help you be able to solve with, be it MCQs or be it reasoning questions. Mining, no, mining again takes a, mining itself means you are kind of taking away much of the soil, or shifting agriculture, obviously not. So obviously option A. Afforestation helps by preventing soil erosion by holding soil particles together with roots. It enhances water retention and improves the fertility of the soil. So I've given this explanation so that along with it, in case anything comes as a reasoning question, you will be equipped to answer something like that. Identify the source of energy that leads to pollution. Is it tidal energy? Is it wind energy? Is it natural gas? और इज इट जियोथर्मल एनर्जी? इसमें से कौन सा है जिससे कि प्रदूषण फैलता है, which causes pollution? So the correct answer is natural gas. Which of the following is a staple food grain of Indians? Now I remember something like this came when it came, I don't know whether it's last year. People got confused between wheat and rice, and a lot of North Indian students ended up writing, students in North India ended up writing wheat, and I'm not really blaming them for that. I'm not sure whether marks were awarded for both, but when you talk about the number of people and the area, rice would be much more of a staple food grain, because rice is consumed largely in South India and East India, and now to an extent, also in parts of North India, though roti, chapati, etc. is obviously preferred. So the correct answer is B. In which vegetation belt multiple layer of trees is found? Is it tropical deciduous, tropical evergreen, thorn and scrub for forest, or is it the tidal forest? The correct answer is tropical evergreen. Why are Sundarbans so called? I found this an interesting question. Why? How did Sundarbans get its name? The abundance of breathing roots, a beautiful forest, Sundar, a beautiful forest, or is it the abundance of Sundari trees or ban on cutting of trees? The answer is Sundari trees, option C. Which is the most widespread soil of India? Which kind of soil is something, and that's why I really believe, I have very strong views on the manner in which geography is taught in many ICSE schools. I am a strong advocate that you ought to have geography labs, just like you have physics, chemistry, and biology labs. You got to have, because the textbooks, sorry to say, the textbooks, the kind of textbooks that are prescribed, they make this subject extremely boring, and it is not something which is happening to you. It happened even in my time. I also used to find geography very boring, to be very honest, because we don't teach it in an interesting manner. You need to have the labs out there. You need to make students feel the texture of how an alluvial soil feels, how a black soil feels. I have done that, so I know a black soil, black cotton soil ko aap touch karenge, gila gila rahega, and it is very thick, and it is very clayey. Alluvial soil is much more, you can feel the sense that it is something very fertile. Red soil is different both in texture and in terms of color. So you need to make the students feel the texture, be it coal, be it different forms of coal. You need to the iron ore. You need to make students feel, even if you cannot take them on outstation trip excursions, even then you need to. That's why on all our videos you would find a lot of my stories also being told, because that's how you make the learning and teaching more interesting. And this is something which I find, because geography is not a subject which you can learn from a textbook. You need to experience the world around us, and only then you would do it. Anyway, that's for a different day and a different discussion. Which is the most widespread soil of India? The most widespread soil of India is the alluvial soil. 40% of land area, mainly in the Gangetic belt along the river Ganga, right? 40%. This statistic is something, of course, आगे पीछे थोड़ा थोड़ा होता रहेगा, but largely around this much is the area. Okay. Which of the following is a basic? See, data में क्या है? Every year, like for instance, cotton production. What was there in 2023 would be different from 2024, would be different from 2025. So every year you find the data increasing. So some state may go up, some state may become second. That happens. That's a dynamic process. But largely you should know which is the largest producing state of any product, etc. Which of the following is a basic or a key industry? Iron and steel industry, silk industry, electronic industry, cotton, textile industry. Pretty simple. Option A. Which means of irrigation can be developed with minimum expenditure. Now these kind of thing, now how do you get a reasoning question on that? When you find the thing, how can, I mean, why is it that it requires minimum expenditure, you know? So everything, try to twist it into a because question and see whether you are able to answer that in the last 24 hours before the examination. That's how you should deal with geography. So tube well, canal, well, or drip irrigation. So you need to know everything about each one of them so that you are able to come to an informed choice. Ki, okay, this is the option I am choosing because of this reason. That's something very important. So isme option C, well, which is of course also a traditional method of irrigation. Drip irrigation is efficient but involves high initial cost for pipes and installation. So because some students, I think in one of the PYQs, they also said that drip irrigation काफी लोगों ने लिखा था, but that is the reason why well is, of course, well also you need to dig, but in terms of expenditure, that is still less expensive than installing a drip irrigation system. Which of the following is not, because drip irrigation will also depend a lot on the area of the field. Which of the following is not a center for the iron and steel industry? Now, Bhilai is the right answer, but let's always look at the other three options. Okay, Bhilai is, Rourkela is, Vishakhapatnam is, so Bengaluru is the, I mean, correct answer for this. It is not a center for the iron and steel industry. Okay. Which of the following is good for tea and jute cultivation? Is it Kalbaisakhi, Lu, Western disturbance, or monsoon showers? So again, you need to be able to distinguish between the four before you choose the right option. So please be careful, especially when it comes to the climate chapter in particular. You just need to exercise more caution. This is something which I want you to bear in mind. The correct answer is Kalbaisakhi. Gully erosion is common in the Chambal Basin, Ganga Basin, Rajasthan, or is it the hilly region? Now the correct answer is Chambal Basin, which is largely the Madhya Pradesh area, actually starting from the Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh border and getting into the Madhya Pradesh area. Dash is a hot and dry local wind that blows in North India during the pre-monsoon period. Pretty simple. Western disturbances, Lu, Kalbaisakhi, cherry blossom. The correct answer is B. Identify the pair that is correctly matched. Okay, which is the correctly matched pair? Is it tropical evergreen with babul? Tropical. Now, isme you need to know the examples, at least three, minimum three of the main trees you should know. Three, I mean, even if you are leaving out natural vegetation chapter, please ensure that you know these examples because you could get these kind of questions. Littoral, which is ebony, or mountain forest, the banyan tree. The correct answer is B, the teak tree. What is the meaning of, okay, what is the meaning of irrigation? The water received by rainfall, the man-made arrangement of supplying water to the fields, the storage of rainwater, or the growing of crops. The correct answer is B. गलत है. Irrigation का मतलब है the man-made arrangement of supplying water to the fields. Irrigation. Sorry, ये B है. This is B. It cannot, definitely cannot. I mean, the water received by rainfall cannot be called irrigation. Okay. Sorry. ये गलत लिखा है. Okay, irrigation is largely man-made kind of thing. Water received by rainfall also helps you in irrigation. है ना? Also helps you in irrigation, but this cannot be a direct thing. Whereas a man-made supplying water to the fields will be known as irrigation because you irrigate your fields. Which is the most advanced and efficient method of irrigation? Canal irrigation, well irrigation, drip irrigation, or tank irrigation? So इसमें कौन सा कीवर्ड है? Advanced. Advanced बोले तो straight away your well irrigation gets ruled out because well irrigation is a traditional method of irrigation. The second keyword is efficient, which means it irrigates without wasting much water. So whether it is canal irrigation, drip irrigation, or tank irrigation. So the correct answer to this would be drip irrigation. No, C, sorry. Drip irrigation. Because it delivers water directly to the roots of plants through a network of pipes and tubes, it reduces water wastage by minimizing evaporation. It's ideal for water scarce regions. एक गलत हो जाता है ना, then you get into a slight PC. I'm a stickler for doing things right. So I try to ensure that, revise. इसमें I think वो proofread नहीं किया मैंने उसके बाद. Anyway, so this is the reason. I've also, wherever necessary, I've also put because, so that in case if it comes as a reasoning question, you will be able to deal with it. Dash and dash are crops. Crops are associated with laterite soil. Again, soil, crops. Please remember, natural vegetation, forest, the kind of trees. A lot to remember. जितना ज्यादा हो सके टैबुलर फॉर्म में लिखो, अपने तरीके से लिखो, माइंड मैप्स बनाओ, बट याद करके जाओ. Geography, you can score high marks. Wheat and rice, sugarcane and rice, maize and bajra, and tea and coffee. Please look at the strategy video, just a 10-minute video which we had done, so that it gives you an idea about the time management and your approach to the exam paper. 10 मिनट का वीडियो है, इससे पहले कुछ घंटों पहले ही डाला है. Wheat and rice, sugarcane and rice, maize and bajra, tea and coffee, and you need to associate it with laterite soil, tea and coffee. Dash is the oldest coal field of India. Its answer is Raniganj. Bauxite is the ore of aluminium, copper, manganese, or iron. The correct answer is aluminium. Which of the following is a type of canal found in India? Perennial canal, river canal, artificial root canal. Root canal to ho nahi sakta. Okay, now which is the type of canal? So the correct answer is perennial canal. What is the main reason for the red color of red soil? Abundance of magnesium. I think I'm not sure whether this is there or whether I wrote it or was it something. I'm not sure. याद नहीं है मेरे को. ये पेपर मैंने बॉम्बे में बैठ के बनाया था. What is the main reason for the मुंबई में? What is the main reason for the red color of red soil? Abundance of magnesium, accumulated humus, presence of ferric oxide, or abundance of phosphates? The correct option is option C. Afforestation prevents soil erosion because it reduces thing. Okay, मैंने सीधा उसमें कर दिया. The roots of the trees bind the soil barrier. Now you see, the same question can be asked as a reasoning question. Why should we do afforestation? Why does the government promote afforestation? Right? Because then the roots of the trees bind the soil particles, ensuring there is no soil erosion resulting in landslides. That's the kind of answer. Please प्रभु लिख देना, marks पूरे मिलेंगे. Okay. Which of the following is not a problem of Indian agriculture? Not a problem. Dependence on monsoon, that is a problem. Small land holdings, that is a problem. Okay, they are asking not a problem. Two main cropping seasons or use of traditional, ये भी है. So option C is the correct option. Sprinkler irrigation is efficient, but it is still not a very commonly used method of irrigation by Indian farmers. Q. Now this, you see, reasoning questions coming as MCQs. It makes your job easier, but it's quite possible that some of the options may be very close to each other. And अगर आपने ये chapter नहीं पढ़ा है, तो दिक्कत आ सकती है. So sprinkler irrigation is efficient because, but it's still not being used because there is no loss of water by seepage. It's an expensive method of irrigation. There is no loss of water by evaporation. Farmers are scared of getting wet. The correct answer is option B. Why do the inundation canals have limited use? They get water only when the rivers are in flood. They are taken out from a perennial river. They are constructed to store rainwater. It occupies a lot of space. So the correct option is A. Only when the rivers are in flood that they get water. Which of the following farming method is used to grow tea on a large scale? Subsistence farming, plantation farming, mixed farming, or shifting agriculture. So we are talking about tea. So as I said, many of you would be leaving out the agriculture chapter. I understand completely. There's just too much to recall. But you would need to remember this thing, because why would you want to give away 1 mark in charity? So ensure that you know these basic facts about whether it is tea, whether it is cotton, whether it is sugarcane, rice, wheat, etc., pulses, oilseeds, सबके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ के जाओ, jute, etc. So, which of the following farming methods is used to grow tea on a large scale? The correct answer is option B. Which of the following method of waste disposal is harmful? Composting, segregation, dumping, composting. So if you see, इसमें कौन सा harmful है? The most harmful is dumping, when you just dump the garbage. Whereas both in composting and vermicomposting, you're doing some treatment, and segregation, you are segregating waste to kind of dispose it off in a more clinical and efficient manner. Whereas dumping is seedha dumping. Okay, so option C. What are the various forest conservation methods that can be undertaken? Afforestation and stopping indiscriminate felling of trees. If you see, stopping indiscriminate. Large scale of deforestation, overgrazing, allowing animals, this thing. So option A. Which type of forest is found mostly in the coastal areas of India? Tropical evergreen. मेरे को ना ये natural vegetation वाला chapter बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है. Tropical, because it at my age, it's very difficult to store this kind of information which does not have relevance to my daily life at all. कि कौन सा tree, कौन सा evergreen deciduous. If you see, I just can't recall this kind of information, because for me this kind of, whereas if you ask me about any election which happened in any part of India, I would be able to tell you like that. So you store information which you think is necessary on a daily basis. Tropical evergreen forest, tropical desert forest, littoral forest, tropical deciduous forest. So the correct answer is C, also called mangrove forest. Dash industries are also known as household industry, basic, cottage, cooperative, none of the above. The correct answer is B, cottage industry. Which of the following soil is most suitable for the cultivation of cotton and sugarcane? Laterite, black, red, alluvial. The correct answer is B, the black soil, because it's rich in clay. It retains water. I don't know if you have ever seen a sugarcane field. It's a water guzzler बोलते हैं. जैसे कुछ cars को बोलते हैं ना, they are petrol guzzlers, because they consume they take a lot of water, sugarcane, which is why, when Kaveri flows from South Karnataka into Tamil Nadu, already the sugarcane farmers in Mysore, Mandya, kind of the southern Karnataka region, they need a lot of water for the sugarcane crop. So that's why always there is a tussle. The Tamil Nadu farmer will say, "Humko Kaveri ka pani release karo, hamare paddy ko chahiye." Paddy also needs a lot of water. ये बोलते हैं कि हमको sugarcane के लिए चाहिए. So both are water intensive kind of crops. So there, as far as this soil is concerned, for sugarcane as well as cotton in both Telangana and parts of Maharashtra, they have the black cotton soil, right? Which is, there's another interesting story which is coming to my mind. Anyway, that's for another day. Black soil, which is rich in clay, retains moisture, cracks in summer, allowing for better aeration of roots. Hirakud Dam, which is in Odisha, is based on which of the following rivers? River Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, or Narmada? The correct answer is River Mahanadi. Which of the following means of transport has best use during floods or earthquake? Now, during floods, what will happen? The roads will get inundated. So roadways is obviously not an option. Rail tracks also get submerged. That's also not an option. Waterways, in any case, it will be very limited. Just because यहाँ पर floods में पानी आ गया करके waterways लिखकर मत आना. Okay. So यहाँ पर correct option will be airways. Which of the following features is not associated with thorn and scrub forest? So please look at it. I do not remember. As I said, this is my weak point. The correct answer is evergreen and multi-layered. Which of the following factors is responsible for acidic nature of laterite soil? Is it because it is friable in nature? Because, see, these are also reasoning kind of questions. It can retain moisture, all the bases leached down from the topsoil, or is it because all of them are correct? The option is C. Which are the more widespread forests of India? Tropical rainforest, tropical thorn forest, tropical deciduous forest, or littoral forest? The correct option is option C, the monsoon forest. ये स्टैटिस्टिक याद रखना. रोरकेला, जहां पर भी मैंने और इंफॉर्मेशन डाला है, it is to ensure that you'll be able to recall better. Okay. Rourkela steel plant, Odisha, was built with the cooperation of USSR, Germany, Japan, or France. The correct answer is B, Germany. These kind of facts tak याद रहते हैं. Cheapest method of disposal of waste is dumping, segregation, composting, recycling. The cheapest is what? उठा के कूड़ा कहीं पे dump कर दो. Option A. And it's the most third-rate way of disposing garbage. Which of the following is a groundwater source? Pond, lake, spring, or river? Groundwater source. So the groundwater source will be spring. Which crop is associated with retaining? Sugarcane, jute. Sugarcane is the right answer. Feel and consistency of soil is called dash of the soil. Profile, parent rock, texture, or nature. The correct answer is texture. What is social forestry? Social forestry पे question generally आते हैं. So the management and protection of forests and afforestation on barren lands with the purpose of helping in the social development. The practice of growing trees on farmlands, growing trees by social workers. See, many of you will see social and get confused. This is what is called an ideal distractor. Forest used for social gathering. So you will get confused between these two. C और D करके करोगे और कहोगे कि इसमें से एक को लॉक किया जाए, गलत हो जाएगा, केबीसी में फेल हो जाओगे. So the correct option is option A. Copper is alloyed with zinc to form stainless steel, brass, bronze, or aluminium. Now this is another, I find this question having come quite a few times in both pre-boards as well as in board papers. So the correct answer is B. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. It is known for its golden yellow appearance, corrosion resistance, and malleability, making it useful for musical instruments, decorative items, and electrical fitting. So you could get a reasoning question. Why is brass used for this? Then you need to give these reasons, right? So wherever I've given extra information, usko dekh lo, because it is put in the form of a reasoning question. Which of the following is a biodegradable waste? Broken glass, waste paper, polythene, plastic bags. Eliminate करो. प्लास्टिक बैग्स है क्या, पॉलिथीन है क्या, वेस्ट पेपर है क्या, ब्रोकन ग्लास है क्या? सो इसमें से कौन सा है उसको निकालो. द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज वेस्ट पेपर. Dash transport supplements other modes of transport. Airways, roadways, waterways, railways. The correct answer is B, roadways. Maharashtra is the leading producer of which of the following? Cash crop, jute, cotton, coffee, tea, cotton. B. Yes. Agriculture अपना strong है. Which of the following? Only I think this natural vegetation I get confused with. And I think it's pretty dabba information to recall. Which of the following may be used for the recharging of underground water? Planting of shelter beds, gullies and ravines, percolation pit, and commercial farming. Which of these are used for the recharging of underground water? यानी कि आपका ground water table को recharge करने के लिए. In urban areas you do rainwater harvesting, but in this is more talking about the agricultural area. तो यहां पर कौन सा यूज होगा जिससे कि आपका अंडरग्राउंड वाटर टेबल इंक्रीज हो, उसको रिचार्ज किया जाए? सो इसमें गलीज एंड रेवेन्स तो ऑब्वियसली नहीं है. द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज पर्कुलेशन पिट. व्हाट इज द डिप्लीशन ऑफ ऑक्सीजन इन अ वाटर बॉडी रिजल्टिंग फ्रॉम पोल्यूशन कॉल्ड? इट इज कॉल्ड eutrophication. Cultivation of crops and raising of animals is a feature of dash farming, intensive, commercial, plantation, and mixed. The correct option is option D. So with this, we come to the end of the PYQs and questions taken from the ICSE specimen papers over the last 4 to 5 years or so. 4 to 5 years. I hope it helped. It put the setting. Ab wait karna Geography 100 ka. Geography 100 in which I will do 100 MCQs which are curated by me. And that will give you a better idea about how to prepare, because उसमें मैंने काफी सारे रीजनिंग क्वेश्चंस को भी एमसीक्यूज में डाला है ताकि आपकी तैयारी दोनों तरफ से हो जाएगी. एंड दैट विल काइंड ऑफ प्रिपेयर यू बेटर एंड टेस्ट यू बेटर अहेड ऑफ योर एग्जामिनेशन. सो सी यू देन इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो. टाटा, बाय बाय, नमस्कार.